Now, in terror-related news outside of Israel, ISIS is now officially taking responsibility for the shooting attack in Vienna on Tuesday, in which 4 people were killed and nearly 24 injured. The gunman likewise declaring his allegiance to the terror group after having already served in prison for attempting to join the Islamic State.
بسم الله نبايع على الخليفة المسلمين أبو إبراهيم الهاشمي القريشي على السمع والطاعة في المنشة والمكره والعسر واليسر.
Joining us with more is former Austrian ambassador to Israel and Cyprus, currently the ambassador to the United States, Martin Weiss. Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure.
Now, what is the situation right now in Vienna? Are people able to leave their homes at all?
Yes. People are able to leave their homes. I mean, the restriction on leaving their home is actually the Corona lockdown that has started yesterday. So at night you have to stay at home. But this terrorist situation seems to be under control. There was one attacker. This was this one person we just saw the video of. He has been shot. Before that, he was able to kill 4 innocent civilians in Austria. So the country is in shock, but people are able to go out and about.
Now, what is Austria's general stance on dealing with terrorism? Are there any official policies or measures that are in place?
Yes, I mean, of course, I mean, we are all in this battle together, and you saw it in the case of this young man. He wanted to join ISIS about 2 years ago, tried to travel to Syria via Turkey. He was arrested. He was transferred to Austria because he has an Austrian citizenship, and he spent more than a year in jail and was then released. And there apparently was, if you will, a mistake because he was still a dangerous man, and we saw his danger play out in the last this night of terror.
All right, now we know that among all of the nations of the world, Israeli leaders like Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Rivlin expressed their solidarity with Austria after the attack. Has there been any coordination or security advice that maybe Austria has accepted from Israel?
I think there is close coordination among the security services. The messages that came from Israel were much appreciated. You have a history where you have experienced terrorism much more often than we do. For Austrians, this comes as a huge shock because this is just something that basically never happens in Vienna. And so this was a terror that we are not used to. We are closely coordinating with Israel, also with the United States, and with, of course, our European partners. This is, again, a battle we are all fighting together.
Of course. And now we also know, again, that this was not necessarily targeting any Jews, but it was just outside of the larger synagogue in Vienna. Is the Jewish community, how are they reacting in Vienna?
Well, it was, as you said, it happened exactly downtown Vienna, right by the Vienna city temple. And in the beginning, it was the fear that it was an attack on the synagogue, which it was not. But why did he start to shoot exactly there? It might have been quite on purpose that he chose this location. It just turned out that the synagogue was closed at that moment. And then he continued shooting people on the street. But who knows what would have happened if the synagogue had been open at the time. I think I heard the chief rabbi of the synagogue talk yesterday, and he said he felt safe. I think Jewish life is thriving and well protected in Austria, but it's really something that targets the whole Austrian economy, the whole Austrian society, and that of course includes the Jewish members of our society.
Now, my final question, you mentioned earlier that the gunman had already had a previous record of trying to join ISIS, and he had spent time in prison, but he actually passed a de-radicalization program. How did he deceive that program, and are there others like him?
Well, that of course, is a very good question. Because when he was released, there were basically, it was documented that he had changed and he was not a risk anymore. Well, that proved to be deadly wrong. And of course, there will be many questions asked how this could have happened. At the end of the day, you can never look into the soul of a person. But of course, you have to be doubly careful if you have someone who already was radicalized, wanted to join ISIS. I think there will be tough questions will have to be asked.
Ambassador Weiss, thank you very much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure. Good day.